Welcome. You want to know why everything is changing around you and what to do about it? So let's go. Welcome to my channel. I'm Evelina, Feel, Grow, Live. This is a channel for people who are curious. So I'm glad you're here. When things are changing around you, you can have a sense that things fall apart. So the reality as you know it, relationships, the sense of self is changing, right? It's usually about the relationships. It's like you don't feel yourself. You feel like you're losing yourself. And that's a very, very difficult moment. But the first thing I want to say is that it's a very good sign, because that means you are recalibrating for something different and bigger. You are expanding. If you know me a little bit, you know that I answer questions from the perspective of the nervous system. So your nervous system is consciousness in itself. It's aware of itself. The fact that everything is changing around you means that your nervous system has had enough of the old, of the roles you've played, of the performative identity that you had to acquire in order to be where you are. So I don't want you to judge yourself or to judge anything. We are afraid, evolutionary speaking, of change. So there's a fear, right, in you that, oh my God, things are changing. I don't know what I'm doing. You lose certainty. You can't predict what's going to happen. You can't really engage with things you used to find enjoyable. Very often it's about finding out and realizing that the conversations that you used to have, you can't really engage in them anymore. You find them alien. You find them strange and maybe shallow, maybe too deep, whatever, but they don't represent you anymore. They're not with alignment with who you are becoming. So I just want you to just stay with it, stay in this space where you don't have to do anything because things are happening anyway. It's not about doing, it's about observing. Your nervous system is recalibrating anyway. You are becoming something more. You are becoming more real, more authentic. Something is tapping into your nature, your true nature, rather than a performative identity. I like to think of it as a dissolution of identity, whatever that was, right? Your identity, your personality, as we refer to it in mainstream psychology, which is becoming irrelevant, by the way. Your set of behaviors that we used to call personality, and some people still do, was designed to keep you surviving and belonging to your family, to a set of friends that were truly random, because we don't choose our friends at first, right? So when things are happening, that means you're growing internally. That means you're transforming internally. And the nervous system, your nervous system, is doing that transformation for you. You are recalibrating and you're growing. It might feel very destabilizing. Things, as you know, are falling apart. The network of people, the way people perceive you might be changing. So I want you to think of it as not losing yourself, but losing the role you've played. Let that land. It's the role you're losing, not yourself. Whatever that role was. Again, personality, archetypes. Whether you were the hero, the provider, the listener, the emotional regulator, the unseen one, the funny one, the poor one, the one who always provides, whatever, or the one who always somehow plays a role within. And sometimes the roles are very different. We're very different with our family, we're very different with our friends, but it's still their roles. That's the sort of outside layer of our identity, which has nothing to do with your true nature, authentic nature. So it can be very destabilizing, and you might have a sense that you're losing yourself. But I want you to really get it into your heart, really, that it meant to happen. That you're growing as a person, you're maturing emotionally, you understand that maybe you don't understand cognitively, you don't understand what's going on, but the way to hold yourself in those moments is to stay with it. Don't try and control the change. Don't try and fix everything and keep it as it has been. You know, like we have this tendency to hold on to our old identity, to our old self, for things to stay the same. This is how we meet our need for certainty, right? But if the belonging to a group, a family or group or friends or whatever was based on the performative part of you, the performative part of your identity, I want you to question, how real was that? Was that an illusion? A divorce is a very good example. You know, 1 minute you're in love with this person, you think everything is great and right, and it's going to be amazing for the rest of your life. But a year later, you see things completely differently. You see this person completely differently because things are changing constantly. Everyone is changing constantly. Everyone is growing, maturing, growing into themselves. So the set of shared goals they had, or you had, for that particular relationship is no longer the case. And think in a sense of internal life, that's the same, right? You had a certain role to play in your friendships, in your jobs. Think about how many jobs you have had. You're evolving constantly, you're changing your roles, etc. So you're growing. So I want you to stay with yourself and hold yourself without judging. Whether things are good or bad, you're going to find out later on. Don't attach too much suffering to change, and don't panic because things are changing, because the only constant in life is change. And being with yourself when things are falling apart and taking ownership of your inner state while things are happening, and being responsive, but first observing and choosing your response rather than react to it, it's one of the greatest skills you can develop. So when things are falling apart around you, be the watcher of the change. And don't judge it, and create a space where you see things changing. You realize, for example, that you're being misunderstood constantly, even though you try to explain your position or you're trying to explain your truth, but you're not being seen where you are. So remember that people do not respond to you based on where you are and who you are. People respond to you based on where they are and who they are, and they're also changing. Don't try and control that. It's a lost battle. You're going to waste a lot of energy. Yeah, waste energy and waste a lot of life, your life. And we don't really know what people need, let alone, like, it's very difficult to know what we need, let alone what people need, including our children. We might think, oh, you know, this little boy needs me to do this, or she needs me to do this. But actually, they need our presence. And if their relationship is strong, true, and real, it will survive the change. This is how you know who your true friends are. If they can survive you changing, if the relationship can survive you changing and growing into yourself, into more authentic version of yourself, then that means they get to stay in your life. If someone doesn't support your growth, doesn't cheer you on, but judges you, criticizes you, mocks you for choosing better, choosing different, just testing some things for yourself, then ask yourself, do you want this person in your life? Right? Do you want to share yourself with that person? And lastly, I want you to know that change is good. Growth is good. It feels uncomfortable because you won't be able to enjoy the same things, have the same conversations. You're going to be feeling isolated, but this is an opportunity for you to be with yourself and find out who you are, how strong you are, how resilient you are, how wise you are, and having trust in yourself. Because if you think about it, not a lot of things that has happened in your life you actually had any say in. How life is. Of course we judge it, that was good, that was bad, that was not good, or whatever. We don't know. You don't know. So trusting life and developing trust, and that can only happen if you don't get caught up in other people's reality, you don't determine what they need from you, etc. So you're losing those roles, but you're also coming home to yourself. That means you're maturing emotionally, psychologically, mentally. And your nervous system leads you, your nervous system does the living for you, doesn't it? How many decisions about your life have you made, actually? Not a lot of them make sense, but somehow they work out. And the things that don't work out, sometimes after, in hindsight, you think, actually, that was good, that didn't work out. That relationship, that friendship, or that person didn't stay in my life. So stay calm. Or if you get a reaction, acknowledge that reaction, emotional reaction. And just so you know, there's some grieving involved when things are changing. And there's some lonely period, but loneliness is not the same as solitude. Loneliness creates a space for you to be on your own with yourself, because you have the inner self, you have your soul, you have your psyche, you have your mind, and you can study yourself. You can't study yourself, you can't really understand yourself with this human noise around you and artificial noise around you. And a lot of it is noise, right? You can't really protect your peace. You can't really get relaxed. Your nervous system cannot. We think, we need people that are right. We need some people, but we don't need all of them. So stay with yourself. Never give up on yourself. Don't panic. Observe yourself and trust yourself. Thank you very much, and see you next time.